Hello there, I'm Joey Hollywood, and I thought I'd share my thoughts on the 2000 film Unbreakable, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. This is my favorite movie by him, which I know doesn't say much considering his downward spiral after this movie, but Unbreakable holds a special place for me. I have a lot of nostalgic feelings about it. Renting it from Blockbuster, staying up late with my family and watching it every so often. It's one of the few movies that everyone in my family enjoyed, which was not a common occurrence. And as an adult, I've grown to like it even more. I think maybe because I understand it a little bit better. It's become a recent trope with superhero movies to make them quote-unquote realistic, with varying degrees of success. With movies like The Watchmen, it took bright, colorful, silly characters and put them into a dark and gritty reality. And I think more or less that was a success. But then we have stuff like Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, which coincidentally have the same director, which I believe fails this trope miserably. I'm sure there's other examples that you could point out, possibly the TV show Heroes, but I think the best attempt at making a realistic superhero movie is in Unbreakable. David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, feels very much like a real person. He has real-world problems. He's an everyman. He has a struggling marriage, a fractured relationship with his son, and he sacrificed the career he wanted for the sake of his family. Unbreakable is very much a superhero movie disguised as a drama. One thing I personally like about it is it feels very, very honest. Almost like a biopic. As if it is a real event that someone's capturing on film. The movie is extremely blunt, and I think the emotional impact of that strikes you in a more realistic way. A scene I think that really showcases this is the one where David Dunn's wife inquires if he has committed infidelity.
Okay. And you can be totally honest. I'm prepared for any answer, and it won't affect me. Have you been with anyone? I mean, since we've been having problems. The answer won't affect me. I just need to know. You know, it won't affect me either way.
No.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
It's, well, very matter of fact, and despite not having a lot of screen time, actress Robin Wright, her reaction feels very raw and heartbreaking. It's a very mellow movie, it's a very patient movie. I'd say it's the mainstream equivalent to a slow burn. One of the best characters in the film is Elijah Price, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and one of the few roles where he doesn't say motherfucker. In any other movie, I think his condition would feel silly or made up, but the presentation makes you feel like this is a real man whose bones can shatter like glass. He's a man looking for his place in the world, and is probably one of the most tragic characters of the whole movie. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is near the beginning, where Elijah is selling a sketch of a comic book to a very wealthy man. He goes over the history of the piece and the importance of it, and the man agrees to buy it and reveals that he's buying it for his toddler son. The speech Elijah gives to this man really establishes his character and has always stuck with me.
No, 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 no. You need to go. Now.
What'd I say?
Do you see any Teletubbies in here? Do you see a slender plastic tag clipped to my shirt with my name printed on it? Did you see a little Asian child with a blank expression sitting outside in a mechanical helicopter that shakes when you put quarters in it? No? Well, that's what you see at a toy store. And you must think you're in a toy store because you're here shopping for an infant named Jeb. Now, one of us has made a gross error and wasted the other person's valuable time. This is an art gallery, my friend. And this is a piece of art.
Now, the film is not without faults, but no movie is. Personally, my biggest issue with the movie is the ending. Not the finish as a whole, I think that's done extremely well, but my issue is with the superimposed titles telling you what becomes of these characters after the movie. In a way, I suppose, it goes along with the biopic feeling, however, it just pulls me out of the movie. I think it's worth mentioning that some international versions of this movie exclude these titles in favor of a more ambiguous ending. Like I said before, I really loved this movie as a kid, and I always wanted a sequel. Little did I know that I would have to wait nearly 16 years for a follow-up that wasn't even announced as being part of the same universe. And it was so exciting when I heard that Split was part of the Unbreakable world. It made me want to see a movie that I actually had no initial interest in prior to that knowledge. And now we're getting a direct follow-up with the upcoming film Glass, and I'm super stoked. If you'd like to hear me gush a little bit more about Unbreakable and how much I'm looking forward to Glass, I recommend you check out the first episode of the Pan and Scan podcast, where me and my buddy Chris talk about upcoming movies that we're excited for in 2019. In the coming days, I will be reviewing the next 2 installments of the East Rail 177 trilogy, so stay tuned for that. As always, I'm Joey Hollywood, and I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind, and rewind.